Okay, should be live. So I figured I would do a Christmas stream. And I was cooling down because I was out, been out skating a couple times today. It's actually really nice out for Christmas. Yesterday was like, the high was 61, so I skated last night. And I'm not sure what the high is today, but it's still pretty warm out there today, enough for like a short sleeve shirt, which is good enough for me to want to skate because whenever it is cold out, especially now that I'm older, it seems to hurt a lot more than what I remember falling whenever it's cold outside. So I do not skate whenever it's cold outside. Um, but I've been skating a bit, trying to get some small sessions in before before the Japan trip, which is 5 days away, and I still haven't even started packing or uh, doing my Japan web. Haven't done that yet or anything. I still need to download the Delta app on my phone. That way I can do the uh, paperless boarding pass, I guess. Just more convenient that way. Even though I do enjoy having the paper boarding passes, it's just more convenient to scan your phone, honestly. Um, so yeah, and I have like 2 days because I'm not going to be doing any packing today. I'm going to try to get some work done today. Then family stuff, family obligations, of course, opening presents and stuff. So I'm going to have that to do this afternoon. And 2 days of downtime that I'm going to have Thursday and Friday. But I'm thinking about going clothes shopping on one of those days, probably Friday if I do it, honestly, because um, I need some more socks for the trip. I've noticed quite a few of my pairs of socks are getting holes in them. So if I don't get any for Christmas, probably going to go and buy some socks before the trip. And I bought some new shoes for the trip because my old shoes was getting slick on the bottom, and I'm not sure how slick it's going to be in Japan at this time of year. I looked at the weather for Japan for next week. That's as far as I was able to look ahead. And it seems honestly not too bad. 50s during the day, 30s at night. So it's not horrible. At least it's not like 20s during the day, 20, 30s during the day, and like teens and below zero at night. Of course, Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit. Talking about that because I'm an American and I don't know Celsius that well. Though I should probably learn it, considering I'm going to be moving to Japan at least temporarily. Um, Coming up in the future, and I'm planning to go to university there. Going to try to do either a semester or a year there, so looking forward to that. So it would be convenient. I already have my phone changed to like the 24-hour clock instead of like the 12-hour clock. Been getting used to that, and might need to start getting more acquainted with Celsius um, temperature measurements. So yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to do a stream while I cool down before I start some work. I need to get some work done soon. I need to do a Christmas themed picture for Christmas, obviously, to upload because I haven't done one yet. Um, then yesterday, of course, was most of the day was just hanging out with family, extended family, like not direct family, like overall the family, like beyond parents and siblings. Yesterday was like the whole family. So when spent most of the day doing a family gathering, doing the Christmas stuff, all that good stuff. And today, just at home, been skating some. And last night, got in the hot tub. Gonna get in the hot tub again tonight. And I finished watching The Last Dance on Netflix. Really been enjoying that. It was all 10 episodes. I finally finished it. It took a long time. That's like 10 hours because each episode is like almost an hour long. Uh, Maybe I would enjoy it more if I was like knew more history about basketball, especially for that time era. But I don't. I like Michael Jordan from Space Jam, and I just like him as an athlete because even those sports I don't watch, like, for example, soccer or football, depending on where in the world you are. I don't like soccer at all. It's one of the most boring sports to me to watch, and it's the most popular sport on the planet. And even though I don't like the sport, can't stand watching it, it's so boring. I also think American football is incredibly boring. Those two, they are incredibly boring sports to me. American football and international football, or soccer as us Americans call it. Both of those sports I find just unwatchable because they're so boring to me. But even though I do not like those sports, I can completely respect people like Ronaldo or Messi or Tom Brady, uh, Montana. I can respect all of these people because I respect people that are at the peak of their sport, that give everything they have into what they do. I respect people like that. I respect the GOATs and people around the same level as the GOATs that give their all into their craft in order to be the best. I respect people like that. So even if I don't like your sport, I think it's boring. Like, I don't know. A lot of people probably think chess is boring, but I keep up with chess quite a bit, like Magnus Carlsen, Hikaru Nakamura. I was recently keeping up with the FIDE Chess World Championship with Ding and Gukesh. Gukesh won, so now we have a new world champion. Ding had only one term as world champion, so maybe that will entice Magnus to come back, not because he technically never lost the title. He's just bored of traditional chess and doesn't like the format of it. So a lot of people would think chess is like really boring, but to me, it's like I don't really watch it, but I will listen to recaps of like the major tournaments and stuff, like Hikaru Nakamura streams. Well, not really streams, but the videos he does on YouTube, like the recaps of stuff and like news. Also, G. Gotham Chess. I watch his stuff, and I have Gotham Chess's book. Still haven't started reading it yet, but I do like chess, and I would like to read through this to maybe get better at it. Because one of my goals in the future, I do not have time for it right now, but I would love to get like a 1,000 ELO score on chess.com. I would love to get up that high. That's one of my goals in life, which is going to be hard. The older you get, the more difficult it is to actually get good at chess and get a high elo. But I think 1,000 would be at least plausible for me to do if I sink enough time into it. But right now, with college, 2 jobs, Japanese, going to Japan so much, I don't have the time to grind it. Once I finish like my Japanese, I'll like get comfortable in the language where I believe I'm fluent enough that I can just maintain my level and improve just by consuming native content. Once I do that, I'm planning to either take up an instrument and grind that the same way that I've been grinding Japanese, where it's like hours every day consistently. I want to get back. The guitar is behind me. I want to get a better one, and I have my ukulele. I'd love to get back to ukulele, even though I only bought that thing for one song. Somewhere Over the Rainbow, of course. That's one of my favorite songs of all time, so I bought it for that. And then I have my Epiphone guitar is just a cheap one. I would like to get a more expensive one, and I also want an acoustic one. I also want to learn piano. That's another thing that I want to get. But those are in the future. There's always going to be something that I want to learn moving forward. That's what I've decided in my life over the last 2 to 3 years, going on 3 years, that I have to stay a lifelong learner. I have to constantly have goals in front of me that I'm working towards. So right now it's like Japanese with the JLPT and college. Those are my 2 main goals. I want to get a bunch of degrees. I want to get all the Japanese certificates I can. Eventually I'm going to start working on the Kanken. I'm going to work on those maybe alongside the JLPT as I work on getting the rest of those, or I may wait until afterwards and just get the upper levels of the Kanken test. There's also a couple of more Japanese tests that I might try to get that are like for like Japanese people, only like Japanese people take them. Whereas the JLPT, that's mostly a foreigner test. A lot of foreigners, even in Japan, a lot of us are. It's mostly targeted at like foreigners and non-Japanese natives. Is what those tests are for. And even the Kanken, it's a lot of Japanese people take it, but a lot of foreigners take that one as well. But there are some Japanese language tests that pretty much just Japanese people take. I've only heard of very few foreigners actually working towards them. So right now we're working on those things, and in the future definitely going to take up instruments. I'd like to take that up, and I want to learn at least one more language to a high level. I'm either planning to stop at 3 or 5 languages because I like those numbers. 3, 5, I like odd numbers. So right now it's English and Japanese. Know a bit of Spanish, a bit of French, but I'm not far in those languages. My main languages are Japanese and English. So I'm planning to take one more to a high level, or at least a relatively high level. And I don't know if I'll use Spanish or French. I'd like to do French more because I don't really like the Spanish language. Don't like the way it sounds. even though it would be probably the better language to learn, especially in like America. Yeah, knowing like Spanish to a good level would definitely help with jobs. But I'm planning to move to Japan, so it's not that important, honestly. But we're either going to stop at 3 languages or 5 languages. And also, like I said, start grinding instruments. I have a Rubik's Cube. I want to learn that, and I would like to get to where I can solve that in like under a minute. That would be a pretty cool goal to work towards. But these are all far in the future goals. But for anime, let's see. What anime have I been watching? I haven't watched anything since the last stream, honestly, but there's a lot of stuff that I want to watch, and there's a few coming up in the new season that I want to watch. Since this season's almost over, I'm planning to grind Don. That's one that I really want to watch and finish up on. I want to binge that one for sure. Blue Box, All No Hako. Definitely want to finish that one. Hopefully we get word on if and when the Demon Slayer movie trilogy will come out in America. I would love for that to come out here and be in theater, because I've watched everything that's Demon Slayer that's come out in theater, like the previews to all the new seasons, as well as the Mugen Train movie. Mugen Train. Yeah, Mugen Train. Watched that 3 or 4 times in theater, and I've watched all the like season previews, like where it has like shows like 1 or 2 new episodes for the new season, as well as like I guess like the finale from the previous season. But I've watched all of those that have come out in theater, because they've all come out here, thankfully. But yeah, not a lot of anime haven't been watching. Definitely got to get to reading more. My reading speed in Japanese, that's something I really want to increase. Even with hiragana and katakana, it's really hard for me to, like, I know all of them really well and I'm able to read them, but one of the things I have a problem with is my vision is getting worse, and a lot of the times I have to strain to read the hiragana, because I can't, like, my kanji reading isn't the best outside of the kanji that I do know, but a lot of manga like this, I'm not even sure if you can see it, but there's a hiragana at the side, and whenever it uses the smaller font sizes, I have to strain, and it's actually kind of hard to read at times. So yeah, that's one of the reasons I'm slower at reading Japanese, but I'm just overall like slow at reading Japanese. I'm not at the point to where I can read Japanese without sub-vocalization, which is something that I've been working on with my English reading. I've been trying to get my English reading speed faster, and I've always been decent at like skim reading, so I do skim reading a lot, but I want to get used to and able to maintain reading without sub-vocalizing. Um, that's saying the words in your head as you're reading, like reading and saying the words in your head. Reading without doing that is like reading without sub-vocalization, and you just read and consume the meaning. You don't say the words in your head at all. You don't sound out the things or anything. You're just reading and consuming content directly into your brain without saying anything in your head or out loud. And I need to get better at that. I can do it for a little bit, but I always end up I start sub-vocalizing without even noticing that I started back, and then I realize that I started back, and I'm like, crap, I was doing good. And then I try to read some more without sub-vocalizing. It's definitely a skill that I think you need to do a lot of in order to get better at. But yeah, haven't had a lot of time to read in English. I've been trying to read more in Japanese, so not really able to practice reading without sub-vocalization. So hopefully when I get back from Japan, or even during this trip, if I have some like long train rides, I was wanting to buy an e-reader before I went on this trip. I want to probably gonna end up getting a Kindle, since they have like the new Kindles out and they have them back in stock finally. And I want to get some like Japanese manga on that somehow, either pirate some manga, or just get some manga on there and put some Japanese dictionaries on there to help read it. Because reading with an e-reader, like I said, I think that would be easier for me, because I'd be able to zoom in and be able to read easier with my aging vision beginning to fail me, unfortunately. Yeah, what else was I going to talk about? I have anime and boxing. I guess I was going to talk about boxing with the Usyk versus Fury 2. It seems like some controversy around it. Like people just writing Fury off. I don't agree with that. Um, it's like this is one thing that's actually better about MMA and like UFC and stuff. It's like people don't really care if your fighter loses. I'm getting a phone call. Hello. All right, we'll do that. All right, love you. Bye. And yeah, people with UFC and stuff, it's like people accept that their fighters lose, whereas boxing is like you lose once and like it sets you back 4 years. You have to rebuild a lot, and people writing Fury off as like being no good. I see a lot of people saying Fury was actually never good and he's like no good and stuff. It's like no, he's good. He's not as good as he thought he was, but he's only lost to one other guy. Like that's 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 not a big deal, honestly. It's really not. Like AJ's lost to three different people. He's lost to Ruiz, Usyk, and Dubois, and it's like I still like AJ. I still hope AJ continues to fight. I want to see his fights. I want to see him fight different people, even though he's has four losses now against three different people. It's like it's not that big of a deal, and I still think AJ is one of the best of his era. So it's not that big of a deal. Just because Usyk has come out as probably the best heavyweight and cruiserweight of this era, it doesn't mean that the people directly below him is that far behind or that they're all garbage. Fury's still a really good fighter. Fury, both of the fights with Usyk was really close, especially this recent one. Even though it's like Usyk outlanded him because of his speed, but Fury was landing harder shots. I would say probably landed more power shots, even though it was less shots overall. It looked like he was trying to go for, he was kind of hoping for one big punch to hurt him and maybe take him out, but he never got that one major punch. But yeah, a lot of people writing Fury off now as saying he's no good, but no, he's one of the best of this era. And I wouldn't say one of the best of all time because that's a pretty big list, but think about the 90s. How many people from the 90s that we still talk highly on? Like Riddick Bowe, Razor Ruddock, Vander Holyfield. All of these people are like, even like Lennox Lewis, they're all held as like some of the best of their era and some of the best of all time. And we have boxers now in the heavyweight that they're aging out. So of course they're going to start losing. Like this Fury is not the same as the 2015 or 2018 versions of Fury. He's not going to be as fast anymore. He's let himself go a lot. So I don't think you can completely write him off and say, "Oh, he was always garbage." And no, he's still a good boxer. He's still a really good boxer. I think he still has some left in him if he wants to continue. But yeah, it's unfortunate that boxers look that the fans of boxing write people off just because they lose like one time. It kind of sucks. Oh, but anyway, we've pulled off now, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream here. And got a phone call that a family gathering is gonna be happening soon, so got to try to get ready and do that. Go and open some presents, and hope you guys have a happy Christmas. And hopefully, I'll be streaming some while I'm in Japan. Might stream in the hotel room at night. Not really sure, but I think I always do. I'm gonna try to remember to bring my computer and not forget my charger because I forgot my charger when I went and did the JLPT when I went out of state to do that. I forgot my charger, and that was bad. That was a mistake on my end. So yeah, I will see you guys.